this is Jeannie T with It's All About Yarn, Knit and Crochet. Today we are going to make the bee stitch dishcloth, and I'm going to be using this 4-weight cotton. It's just from the Dollarama, but it's made by Easy Knit. Our Dollarama has Lion Brand, lots of Lion Brand and Easy Knit yarns. And this is probably the cheapest yarn that's there. They have lots of nice fluffy yarn and Lion Brand that goes up to $4.50 a skein. Anyways, we will be using 4.5 mm needles. I have 2 of them. This is a handmade knitting needle stand. I think it holds like 98 knitting needles. And then I have some other ones. And I gave away a big set of knitting needles from Sears. And Sears has been closed here for years. It was a complete set. I donated to the hospital. There were a couple of ladies in there for long term, and they were knitters. One of them got a hold of me on the internet looking to buy some. I brought them down a big bag of knitting needles and yarns to keep them busy for a while. Hospitals are pretty lonely places. So I made a slip stitch to begin. There's 2 ways you can cast on. One, you can just knit them on. Oh, these needles are too long for me to hold and stay on camera. So you can do it, put your needle in the loop and knit it on. But I'm going to make it so that it has a thicker bottom. And what I do is I put my my pointer knitting needle in behind the stitch, pull up a loop and put it on. So I always put it in behind the first stitch. In behind. So we need an odd number. I'm going to cast on 35 stitches, and that is how you cast them on for this style. If I want a more delicate, thinner edge, I would do it knitting style. I would put this inside the stitch and knit it on. I don't know if there's a name for it. All I know is that I've been using the 2 different ones my whole life for different items. Anyways, my camera is in between me and my work, and I'm using very long needles. I'm going to see if I can find a shorter pair. Maybe I can find a cable needle. Anyways, 4.5 mm, and we need 35 stitches. I will see you right back. Okay, so I have 35 stitches cast on, and for the first row, we are just going to knit straight across to the end. So insert your needle from the bottom up through, take your yarn, put it over, pull up a loop. There's your first stitch. And just knit like that all the way to the end. I really need to order a holder for my overhead camera. And I really need to find the rest of my knitting needles from the move. Shorter ones would fit in this camera so much easier. So go ahead and single knit all the way to the end. And I will see you at the end. Okay, so I've completed the first round of plain knitting just to the end. We'll turn our work. Now this row is, I'm going to show you a new stitch, and what it is knitting one stitch below. So to begin, we will knit one. We're going to alternate knitting one and knitting one stitch below all the way across. So there's our knit one. Now this cross piece below the stitch is the top of the stitch below. So we're going to go right under that and just knit it just like that. So we're going to alternate knit one stitch below. Oops. Just got a little twist in it. Knit one, knit one stitch below. Knit one stitch below. So keep knitting like that, and I will meet you at the end. Okay, so I made it to the end with the ordinary knit stitch. And this is what that looks like so far. Now we're going to turn our work. And that's what this side looks like. Now what we are going to do is just knit all the way across. So every other row is just knit across. Whoops, this is hard to do because my arms are like suspended up in the air with the camera in between me and the work and coping with these long needles. But I'm doing it. Just a little more challenge. So knit to the end of this row, and I will see you at the end of it. Okay, so I've made it to the end of row 3. I'm going to turn it. The little honeycombs are trying to start to form. Now this row, we are going to start it with knitting 2. And then we're going to knit 1 in the stitch below, right here. Knit 1, knit 1 below. Knit 1, knit 1 below. All the way across. Knit 1, knit 1 below. And this is a 4-row repeat. So this is all you need to do. Just repeat these 4 rows. Every alternate row is just knit across. So go ahead and finish this row and I will meet you at the end. Okay, so I made it across at the end of round 4, and this is what it looks like. Then we'll turn our work and we're going to knit straight across. But I'm going to put a stitch marker at the end of round 4 just for counting purposes. Hi, so I knitted some on this, and it's the B stitch, and it sort of takes the honeycomb shape. But I finished round 4, so I moved my stitch marker up, because if I knit a row across and then do the knit 1, knit 1 below, knit 1, knit 1 below, and then set it down on row 2, I may pick it up thinking that I completed round 4, because round 2 and 4 look the same. It's just that the stitch is over 1. And then it will interfere with the pattern. But anyways, I just move it up every round 4 so I know that it's completed. I slip 1 and I pass it over. The one that I passed over, I knit. So I knit 1, slip 1, and pass it over. And put that one back on the needle, because you're going to knit it. I'm still using these long needles. Slip 1 and pass it over. And do that all the way to the end. You hear that noise? It's my long needles scraping on the table. Put it back on the needle so that you can knit it. Slip 1, pass it over. And do your stitches just a little bit loose so that the top is not going to be pulling. Again, knit 1, slip 1, pass it over, and then put that stitch back on your knitting needle so that you can knit it the proper way, and then slip one and pass it over. Oh my goodness, these long needles. And do that to the very end. And you can rewind and look at how I'm doing anything if you need to find out how to do something. So I will meet you at the end. And the very last stitch we will knit to even it up. Leave a tail for darning. And there we have it. A beautiful bee stitch dishcloth. This is all that we have left, and I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe and watch for more to come. Bye now.